But first up tonight, look, Victoria is quite rightly Australia's sporting mecca, home to the greatest racing carnival arguably on the planet, and this weekend with the Cox Plate and AFL Grand Final. Under normal circumstances, Melbourne would be, well, it'd probably be the centre of the universe. The pubs would be heaving, the hotels pumping, the cafes humming, and the taxi and limo drivers, they'd be run off their feet. And that's not to forget the fashion houses. They'd be doing a roaring trade. And of course the airlines wouldn't be able to keep up with the interstate and international demand. But a hotel quarantine bungle, unquestionably the fault of the Andrews government and resulting in the deaths of 800 people, has put an end to all that. On the weekend, the Victoria shines like a star. Its showpiece Cox Plate, the world's #1 weight for age race, will be conducted with no crowds. Normally, there'd be 35,000 people crammed in the Moonee Valley. But for the first time in more than 100 years, the AFL Grand Final, the showpiece, normally the MCG packed out 100,000 spectators. It will be taking place 1,500 kilometres away in Brisbane. Rugby League, that's the main sporting session here in Queensland, yet the Gabba will be the venue. 40,000 spectators, mostly Queenslanders. Now to me, that says everything about how this government has robbed Victorians of their freedom and their liberties. To make matters worse, drones will be deployed to spy on Victorians going to other people's places to watch the AFL Grand Final. Drones. And if you do the wrong thing and you happen to go round to a mate's place and have a barbecue and watch the footy, I shouldn't be laughing about this because it is outrageously serious. You'll cop a $5,000 fine, and make no mistake, the Victorian police are among the best in the world when it comes to enforcement of draconian restrictions. They'll be handing out fines like confetti. Now, at my little bloke's school earlier in the week, one of the parents, he's a Chinese fellow. Now, he hates Xi Jinping, the dictator over there in Beijing, and everything that the CCP represents. He fled China because of it. Now, I ran into him as I dropped off my son, and this is what he said. Peter, you need to tell Australians that Dan Andrews is going down the same path as China. The control, the mind control, the lack of freedom, that's from the CCP playbook. You have to tell them that. Peter, please tell them that. That's what he said, unprovoked. A plea from a good man. Who knows? Not only has Andrews and his government abrogated responsibility to their fellow people, they are now covering up the incompetence. And the symbolism of Australia's sporting capital not having its famous spring racing carnival before spectators and its showpiece AFL Grand Final in another state exemplifies just how the mighty V has fallen. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again over the next 2 years, anybody who stands with Dan has rocks in their head.